The fishing news is brought to you by Interlux Marine Paint, Maxima Fishing Line, and Okuma.
Hey there, Toby Lapinski for the New England edition of the Fisherman magazine with this week's web video fishing forecast for New England. Well, we finally have the details of our annual surf fishing show on Long Island set, and it's once again taking place at the Huntington Hilton in Melville, New York on September 14th. Now yes, that is a Wednesday night, which makes it a little bit tough for my New England friends to attend, but I will say that it's well worth the drive. Between the vendors, raffles, seminars, and goodie bags, you will not be disappointed. And while you're out there, why not make a fishing trip out of it? Spend the night and take a run up to Montauk or work the South Shore, some of the spots along there in Long Island, because by that time, the fall run will be underway. As always, if you want more details, check out the YouTube card at the upper left-hand corner of the screen right now. All right, moving on into Connecticut. Now, while most of the reports of the fluke have been coming in from the deep waters off of Montauk and Block Island, word is some really good-sized fish are being landed in rather shallow water inside Long Island Sound lately, with most of the anglers attributing this to the snapper bluefish invasion. There should be a little window here where either a live line is snapper blues, just be sure not to exceed your 10 fish limit, which applies to bluefish of all sizes, as well as by jigging with large white bucktails and spoons like Castmasters and Hopkins along the shallows. It's just a good shot at catching a really good fluke right now. And for anglers looking to load up on the likes of sea bass, scup, or bluefish, Captain Greg at a Blackhawk reports that there's more than enough of all three species to go around right now. I'm getting reports of full coolers and tired anglers for pretty much everyone sailing on any of the local party boats or head boats that fish inside Long Island Sound. Moving on into Rhode Island, the striped bass bite at Block has been pretty good for the last few days, with good numbers at 20, 30, and even the occasional 40 or 50 plus pound fish being landed. Now, unfortunately, I have been getting pretty steady reports of a fleet of boats fishing over there beyond the federal 3-mile limit with little to no policing taking place. I did hear that there was an alleged sting this past weekend, but confirmation of any action taking place has been tough to come by. I just hope that if they did in fact nail any of the offenders, that it doesn't get swept under the rug like appears to have happened by the bus that they had out there last year. And offshore fishing remains very good for boats sailing out of roadie ports, with spots like the Dump, the Shipping Lanes, and the Fingers producing some really good catches. Now, I will say that the fish over at the Dump are nowhere near what it was a couple of weeks ago, but they are still getting fish there. And I'm hearing lots of wahoo, mahi, yellowfin, big eyes, and white marlin being landed. And I'll take this time to remind you that both mahi and yellowfin tuna are eligible species for this year's Dream Boat Challenge, and the current leader is loading up on both. Now, up in Massachusetts, off the Cape, I'm still getting kind of mixed reports of some large bluefin being landed. The fish seem to still be just, on the move, working along in small pods with a fish or two landed here and there. Usual spots like Crab Ledge and the Sword are being referenced as producing some fish, but I'm not really getting word of any really big bites taking place just yet. And I talked to a friend who was fishing live mackerel up off of P-Town recently, and he too was doing okay, but he was saying it's really one bite here, one bite there, but when he hooks up, it's been well worth it. And lastly, bottom fishing in the Gulf of Maine has been excellent this season, with tons of haddock, pollock, and redfish being caught. And the recent short-term opening of cod fishing has at least a few of the skippers happy that they could finally legally throw some of those good cod into the cooler. And speaking about bottom fishing, late last week, Captain Rich Antonino of Black Rose Charters put one of his clients onto a somewhat unexpected catch as angler Kay Lynn Starzynski landed a huge 102-pound Atlantic halibut. You can see the full report of this awesome catch in the news item posted right now at thefisherman.com, as well as by clicking on the YouTube card at the upper left-hand corner of the screen. Well, there you have it. I'm Toby Lapinski for the New England edition of the Fisherman magazine, wishing you tight lines if you head out onto the water this weekend.
The fishing news is brought to you by Interlux Marine Paint, Maxima Fishing Line, and Okuma.